If you search the internet for advice on handling a toxic person, you will inevitably hit the exact same piece of advice, the gray rock method. The promise is simple. If you stop reacting and turn yourself into a boring gray stone, the person will lose interest and simply walk away. The instructions for executing this are highly specific. You offer one-word answers. You stop reacting entirely. If they try to bait you, you sit completely still and stare blankly at the wall behind their head. For the first few days, it seems to hold up, but usually around the third week, the atmosphere changes. The noise stops, a strange calm settles in, and you begin to feel watched in your own house. This clean, clinical-sounding technique usually backfires. It operates on a massive assumption that if you stop providing emotional fuel, a toxic dynamic simply starves and drifts away in a vacuum. The term gray rock never originated in a peer-reviewed paper or a laboratory. It first appeared in 2012 on a personal mental health blog, written by someone surviving a difficult relationship. When researchers Megan Willis and Xochitl de la Piedad Garcia finally scrutinized the method, they noted something deeply unsettling. There is zero direct scientific research proving gray rock works as a treatment or a testable strategy. The risk spikes when people apply this untested internet advice to a specific personality profile, the covert narcissist. They are quiet on the surface, but hypersensitive underneath, relying entirely on a narrative where they are the wounded victim. Gray rock might offer a temporary shield in passing, but using it on a covert narcissist is like taking the wrong map into a minefield. You miscalculate the threat entirely. The logic of gray rock borrows from a real behavioral psychology concept called extinction. The theory states that if a behavior stops getting rewarded, it shrinks and dies out. But human behavior doesn't taper off in a polite downward curve. When a previously rewarded behavior hits a wall, it spikes first. Psychologists call this the extinction burst. Think of a vending machine. If you put your money in, and it gives you nothing, you don't peacefully walk away. You hit it. You violently shake the machine to force a result. Inside a relationship, the covert narcissist treats your sudden lack of emotion exactly like that broken machine. They will escalate their tactics, trying harder and weirder angles to crack you open and extract the reaction they expect. Your absolute silence doesn't starve them into submission. It triggers an aggressive, highly targeted storm aimed directly at your nervous system. Clinical psychologist Dr. Annie Tanasugarn maps out exactly how this escalation happens. When a covert narcissist senses their emotional supply slipping, they retaliate in 3 distinct phases. This diagram tracks narcissistic retaliation. Step 1. Withdrawal. They go dark, tricking you into believing gray rock worked. Step 2. Surveillance. Missed calls at night, or friends repeating private things. Step 3. Symbolic intrusion. Dropping inside jokes publicly, or deliberately appearing at your spots. By offering a completely blank surface, you didn't convince them to leave. You simply taught them how to maintain emotional dominance and psychological pressure without leaving a visible footprint. This sets up a second psychological trap, intermittent reinforcement. It functions identically to a slot machine. If you pull a lever 100 times and get nothing, you quit. But if it pays out randomly just once, you keep pulling. Imagine you hold the gray rock line flawlessly for weeks. Then, on a particularly exhausting day, they catch you off guard and you finally snap. You yell or you cry. To them, the slot machine just hit the jackpot. That rare emotional payout teaches their nervous system endurance, ensuring their next campaign against you will be longer and far more invasive. Because ultimately, covert narcissists don't just feed on loud arguments, they feed on narrative control. Every time you offer a blank, emotionless response, they use it as evidence. In their mind, your quiet boundaries become proof that you are cold and cruel, allowing them to comfortably play the patient martyr. By meticulously managing your face and suppressing your reactions, you didn't exit their play at all. You unknowingly handed them the material to cast you in a brand new, villainous role. There is also a severe psychological cost to doing this. Spending months deliberately suppressing every visible emotion in your own home requires constant, exhausting vigilance. That defensive posture inevitably bleeds over. You develop a flat, guarded voice, and soon you find yourself using it on safe friends, colleagues, and even your therapist. Over time, you scan every interaction for threats until you slowly lose touch with what your own authentic emotional responses actually feel like. A technique that was heavily promoted to protect your emotional life ends up colonizing it, eroding your ability to feel anything at all. Gray rock does have a very specific, limited utility. It is a short-term parking brake, designed strictly for unavoidable logistics like a custody exchange. It is not a permanent way to live. The actual solution is structural distance. You change your daily routes, alter your routines, and systematically sever the digital and physical access points they have to your life. Real safety does not require you to manage your facial expressions while standing under their spotlight. Real safety comes from leaving the stage entirely. And systematically sever the digital and physical access points they have to your life. Real safety does not require you to manage your facial expressions while standing under their spotlight. Real safety comes from leaving the stage entirely.